in order to make tennis balls worth 200 rupees available to Pakistanis. Their small workshops use waste rubber to make them, although the size of tennis balls is not large. The whole production process is not simple at all. The waste rubber worth 20 rupees is the main source of production for their small workshops. In order to facilitate the melting and shaping of rubber, Fu first needs to crush these rubber scraps through their roller press. Under the strong extrusion of the double rollers, the rubber will be directly crushed into powder. Under the premise that rubber blocks are needed for production, Fu needs to adjust the gap between the rollers so that the rubber powder can form a corresponding thickness. The main purpose of stone powder is to increase its softness so that the overall rebound effect can reach the best state. After the rubber is extruded and dried, Fu will cut the rubber blocks into stinky tofu blocks of equal size according to the diameter of the tennis ball, so that it can be shaped at high temperature through the mold to avoid the rubber blocks being too large and wasting materials. Then the rubber blocks are evenly spread on the mold so that the hemispherical holes can be completely covered. After the conformation, the rubber block can be melted and the rubber will not be removed from the gap. After the heat treatment is completed, the mold will be cooled by clear water temperature so that the heated rubber inner core can be quickly shaped to prevent the inner core from collapsing and being unusable. After the temperature of the mold drops, it meets the use requirements. In order to allow the surface of the inner core to be attached to the felt block, the master first uses white glue to stir it so that the entire surface can be completely covered. White glue not only has great viscosity, but can also serve as a protective layer for the inner core of the tennis ball to increase the overall surface life of the tennis ball. Then quickly stick the felt block on the surface. The double piece splicing is used to form the texture on the surface of the tennis ball. In order to prevent the edges from peeling off, the master will use white nylon thread to fill and wrap it, which can improve the appearance and prevent the protective layer from being exposed. Although the tennis ball has been produced, in order to allow the internal white glue to completely adhere to the felt piece, it needs to be repeatedly thrown through their rollers to prevent the felt piece from having a public bone with the inner core. So the rubber tennis ball is produced. What do you think of the skills of the Pakistani masters?